Hi, welcome to Step by Step Listening, because we're going to help you do more of what you love, learn how to do or delegate the stuff you don't, and ditch the critic who says you can't. So let's just start today by ditching the critic. For those of you that sat here watching thinking, oh my gosh, I thought this was a professional communication coaching company. We've looked up Google communication coaching and you're looking at it and thinking, well, she's doing a video on her sofa. I want to be really clear that Step by Step Listening run all of their events from home-like venues. Even our corporate clients, we will hire big converted barns, because we've learned over the years for people to learn at their best, they need to be emotionally and physically comfortable. And I can't find a much more effective way to do that than having a home-like environment. I also know that for many people at work, they wear a professional mask. And what we want to do is get those masks off and open people up to be really authentic and really get to the heart of their strengths so they can have solutions that work for them. So that's why we do it here. And this is why Cheryl's Sofa is a big part of what we do in a lot of our videos. And you'll see many of our testimonials being taken place here as well. For the other the critics that are out there, might be more of an inner critic. Maybe you're looking at me going, oh, well, she's always been confident. Maybe you've known me a while, or maybe you've watched me on social media. Or maybe just the way I'm coming across today, I look like I'm really confident. So I'm going to break all the rules that says, you know, don't do a long video here. I'm going to talk to you from my heart. I'm going to trust myself, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about my journey and how I got into this communication process, and how I want you to leave with clarity and confidence to communicate in a way that gets you heard, understood and valued by the people that matter to your success and happiness. Whether you want to improve your sales, whether you want to be able to love more effectively and more authentically, and you want to have a real harmonious home, these tools work for everywhere. And I want to share with you what mistakes I made in a hope that it will inspire you not to. For many years, I was able to wear a very professional mask. In fact, work was probably the only place I felt really good about myself. I was good at selling, I was good at motivating, and I could manage my time really well. But then my marriage fell apart. It was probably the hardest thing for me. And looking back now, what I know happened is I knew, for the sake of my children, they had to never hear anything derogatory about their dad. They needed me to be able to say that he loved them, and that when he didn't see them, he was busy working. And I had to find ways, so I thought I had to find ways to make sure they absolutely felt secure and loved, no matter what was happening with the changes. What I hadn't realised is it meant I now wore two masks. I went to work and I did my 60 seconds and I promoted my business and I did whatever I was doing. And then I'd come home and wear a mask and I'd pretend to be a happy mum. And what was happening was I was losing myself inside. In fact, if I'm really honest, I don't even know whether I ever had myself early on. I don't know if I ever really felt completely confident both at home and work at any time in my life. Even when I think back at school times, I was probably okay at school but not so good at home, or maybe I'd have moments of being okay at home but not so good at school. And I couldn't think of a time when I was resourced in all areas of my life. And so that was kind of, I started wearing this mask, and then my mum died. And I sat down for the first time with my mum, because we both had this inner critic, and we would have this conversation with each other, and then we'd leave and it was go, oh, why does she say that? She never does that. And we'd have these conversations, but we keep coming back because we both wanted to have a really good relationship. And when she was dying, we asked questions for the first time ever to understand how each other did it. You know, whether it's like, you know, how did you manage to mother 3 children when dad was away all the time, mum? Because I wanted to be a mum just like her. She was an amazing mum, and yet for some reason as a person I didn't feel loved by her. I never felt I had her approval. And during those last few weeks I was able to ask her, how do you mother at your best? And I learnt loads from her. And she told me that she was jealous because what she wanted was to be a good working mum. And if I'd only had the courage to ask her those questions earlier, I could have learned how to be more of the mother that I wanted to be from the role model that was just there in front of me. So that mum, you think that was enough? Well, actually it was a pretty good starting point. I set Step by Step Listening up in 2008, motivated to inspire other mums and daughters to start listening to each other and learning from each other. But little did I know was I was still wearing this mask, because my own daughter and I started to repeat the same patterns. My marriage to Mark, as many of you will know, started to repeat some of the patterns of my first marriage. And before I knew it, I was really struggling to even keep my professional mask on. Masks were cracking all over the place. And you might think that's a really bad thing, but it's probably the best thing that ever happened to me. And the worst thing is it didn't happen, and I didn't really listen to myself until my daughter started self-harming. I was in this position where I was so desperate that I was going to be a really good mum and that my daughter was going to feel really loved. And there I am. She's self-harming and she's lacking confidence, and she thinks I love her brother more than her. And I'm like, how did I end up here? And what I realised afterwards is that I didn't have confidence in myself. I was always good at fixing other people. I was good at sorting everybody else out, but I wasn't very good at sorting myself out. And I did spend some time trying to make her more confident, and realised that didn't work. So she moved out at 16, ended up living in houses with drug addicts, all sorts of stuff, different role models. And I had to trust and let go, and trust that if I got myself strong and I got confident and I had clarity about what I wanted and what worked for me, I could share those resources with her when she was ready. I'm pleased to say now she's 20 and I'm so proud of her, and we have such a great relationship. And I want you to be in the same place. Now, my emotions are about my daughter and my children and my husband, and I feel completely connected, and I feel really loved by them and my brother, my sister and my dad right now. And I never had that before. But what it also has done is transformed the way I react in business. You know, I do what I do because I do it the way that works for me. I'm breaking all the rules with a 6-minute video. But you know what? If you're kind of person that doesn't like emotion, you've probably switched off, and that's fine. I want to talk to those people who either have boxed away their emotion and they know they've got to be able to start communicating to the people they care about how they feel. Or if you're someone who's quite emotional and you know you need to sort of control it in some way to be able to put that professional front on, but actually you've reached that point where you just want to be yourself. You want to be able to go out there and do it the way you want to do it. Then please do check out how we work, and I'll take you through the 3 steps of clarity, confidence and communication skills that can help you to set yourself up for success in every area of your life. And you'll never have to wear a mask again. You can just turn up, be yourself and be happy.